In this video, I'm going to go through the best lead generation strategies if your goal is to get more leads, appointments, and clients. And to get started, I'm going to go through the best free lead generation strategies, and then I'll move on to the best paid lead generation strategies. So let's get started with the best free lead generation strategies. And number one on my list is YouTube. Now, YouTube is one of the best lead generation strategies if your goal is to generate leads and appointments and clients for free in a way that is evergreen and in a way that you don't have to spend any money on paid advertising. So why is YouTube a great lead generation strategy? Well, when I first started creating YouTube videos going back maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I created a lot of videos, and then after a while, I just stopped publishing. And coming from someone that would run a lot of ads, I know that as soon as you stop spending money on ads, the leads suddenly stop as well, because if you don't pay money for ads, then those ads won't be shown to anyone, and then you're not going to be able to get any more leads. And I thought something similar would happen with YouTube, but to my surprise, it didn't. The videos that I recorded years ago were still generating leads, even though I wasn't publishing anymore on YouTube. And I stopped publishing for maybe a year or two, and maybe I would only post maybe 1 or 2 videos a year, but it was very, very few videos compared to what I started when I first started the YouTube channel. And again, like I said, to my surprise, the videos I recorded years ago were still generating leads, appointments, and clients. So this means YouTube is a very evergreen channel, and I love lead generation channels that are evergreen, which means that you put the work in once in the beginning. So it does require work to record videos and to upload them and do all of that stuff with YouTube, but once the videos are on there, they can get pushed out by the YouTube algorithm, and you can generate leads and appointments and clients for months and even years to come in the future. So that's why YouTube is an excellent lead generation channel. However, there are some downsides with YouTube. First of all, with YouTube, you do need to record videos. So YouTube does probably require a little bit more work compared to some of the other lead generation strategies that I'll cover on this list. And another con is that it's a little bit more difficult to outsource your YouTube channel. So sure, you can get someone to help with the video editing and maybe even uploading the videos to YouTube, but you can't really replace yourself unless in the future there's some sort of AI program where you can replace yourself. But as of right now, that doesn't really exist. So you still need to spend time recording the videos yourself. Whereas with other lead generation strategies that I'll cover, such as blogging or even paid advertising, you can generate leads without you having to be a part of it. So you can reach the point where you just outsource it, or you just hire people to do that part of the work for you. And on YouTube, it's a little bit more difficult to do that, especially if you are the one recording the videos and you're the one who's building up a relationship with your audience. That being said, it still is a really good lead generation strategy for those that are willing to put in the work in order to make it happen. The second best lead generation strategy, I would say, is Google SEO. So not Google ads or anything like that, but actually ranking your website at the top of Google for different keywords related to your business. And Google SEO is very similar to YouTube. The only difference is that instead of you recording a video, you would create an article instead. And Google SEO does have a number of really big advantages. First of all, unlike on YouTube where you have to be the one recording the videos, with Google SEO, you don't really need to do that. You can reach the point where you can outsource the creation of different articles for your website. And on top of that, you could even use AI to help you create the content for you. So you can use tools like ChatGPT, which is free, and it allows you to start creating content, and it can save you a lot of time compared to you writing the article from scratch. Now, yes, you still do need to put your own thoughts and experiences into the article, so it's not too generic, but like I said, it still saves you a lot of time. There are even tools that can create 2,000 word articles for you and the click of a button, and they can do this in a way where the article is also optimized for search engines at the same time. And one of the tools I use to do this is Surfer. I'll include a link in the description if you want to check it out. But the point is, it's a lot easier to create articles these days, especially with AI, which is one of the reasons why creating blogs or creating content is such an effective strategy. Now, there are some downsides though with creating content in order to rank at the top of Google. One of the biggest downsides is that creating content alone sometimes keywords isn't enough to see results. So if you are in a very competitive industry where there's a lot of people competing for the keywords that you want to rank for, then just creating lots of content isn't going to be enough. What you also need to do is build links going to your website. And building links takes a little bit more time, and sometimes it requires some money as well. So if you really want to get the best results from ranking first on Google, just keep in mind that creating content will help, and it's going to be a great starting point. But if you really want to scale up and get some really good results, you're going to also need to do some link building as well. That being said, if you are willing to put in the work and create the articles and also do some link building, it can be a very, very powerful way to generate leads and clients in your business. And similar to YouTube, I've got articles that I created years ago and they're still generating new leads and new clients every single month. So it's another evergreen lead generation strategy that you can use, because you put in the work once in the beginning in creating the content, in building the links, and setting up your website and all of that kind of stuff. And then once it's up and running, you can get new leads and new clients for months and years into the future. So both YouTube and Google can also work really well together. So for example, the videos that you record on YouTube, you could create a blog version for that as well. For the blogs that you create, you could also turn those into YouTube videos too. So the third best lead generation strategy is LinkedIn, and specifically using LinkedIn outreach with LinkedIn automation tools in order to generate leads. Now, you could run ads on LinkedIn, but in my experience, it tends to be very, very expensive. And I found you can just get better results paying for a monthly subscription to some sort of LinkedIn automation software, and then let the LinkedIn automation software start connecting and messaging people on your behalf. However, it's very important that if you do use LinkedIn to generate leads, you do it in the right way. What a lot of people do on LinkedIn is they just spam people messages asking to schedule a call with them. So they're like, hey, are you free for a 5 to 10 minute chat? Or I'd like to learn a little bit more about some of the ways we can maybe work together, and things like that. And that doesn't really work as well as it used to, maybe going back 3 to 5 years. So instead on LinkedIn, what you need to do is you need to message people asking if they want to watch a short video that explains how you can help them. And that video should explain how you can solve a big problem that they have. And in the video, towards the end of the video, after you've given them some value, you can also say, if you'd like to learn more about how I can help you with this, then click the button below the video to schedule a call. So one of the reasons this works so well is because people are going to be a lot more inclined to say yes to watch a video versus saying yes to schedule a call with you if they don't even know if they want to speak to you yet. So with the right messaging, LinkedIn can work really good as a lead generation strategy. And another big advantage that LinkedIn gives you is that you can target people by specific job titles, industries, by company size, and you can get really granular with the targeting. And if you have a specific type of business owner or a type of person that you want to target, chances are you can find those people on LinkedIn. The only big downside to LinkedIn lead generation is that the leads you get on LinkedIn typically convert a lot slower compared to some of the other channels or the other strategies that I'll go through in this video. So for example, if someone is searching Google or YouTube for help with something that they need in their business, such as how to generate leads or how to advertise my business or what are the best marketing strategies or whatever it might be, chances are if someone is searching for that and then they find your video or your blog, they are much more likely to convert into a client a lot quicker. And that is because they are actually in the market searching for a solution to a problem that they have. Whereas on LinkedIn, they may or may not be in the market looking for a solution right now. So if they are, and if you just happen to message them at a time where they are looking for a solution right now, then great, that lead can convert quite quickly. However, if they're not looking for a solution right now, then that lead will probably take a while before they convert. And it could take months, sometimes even years before leads convert when you're using the LinkedIn lead generation strategy. So it's a good way to get a lot of leads in the beginning, but just keep in mind that those leads may take a little longer to convert, just depending on where they are in the buyer's journey. Next, let's move on to the best paid lead generation strategies. And my top lead generation strategy when it comes to paying for leads would be TikTok ads. And the reason I put TikTok ads in the #1 spot is because TikTok is growing phenomenally fast right now. And with TikTok, you can generate leads in a very similar way that you can generate leads on Facebook and on Instagram. But because there are currently fewer advertisers on TikTok, you can generate these leads at a much lower cost. So right now, TikTok is kind of like what Facebook was a few years ago. So Facebook back in the days used to be a really good way to generate leads at a much lower cost compared to other channels such as Google. But because more people are using Facebook and Instagram, the costs gradually go higher. But with TikTok, that still hasn't happened. So as of recording this video right now, it's still a really good advertising channel in order to generate leads for your business at a much lower cost. However, the big downside to using TikTok is that it still isn't as big compared to Facebook and Instagram. So in terms of active users, there are a lot of people that use TikTok, and it's not just for young people anymore. You can target people over the age of 35, 45, 55. You can target wealthy people, people entering retirement. There's a lot of ways you can target the right people for you, depending on who it is that you're looking for. And most of my clients who use TikTok ads, they're not targeting anyone young. Pretty much every client I work with, or almost every client, they're targeting people over the age of 45. So chances are you can find the right people for your business and your target audience, even if they're a little bit older. So a big misconception is that only young people use TikTok, but that's not true at all. But like I said, one of the downsides is that the TikTok audience still isn't as big as other platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Google, and even YouTube. But it's still definitely worth checking out if you haven't already used it. And as of recording this video right now, TikTok are currently running a promotion where you can get up to $1,500 in free advertising if you are new to using TikTok and you haven't advertised on that platform before. And I'll include a link in the description if this offer is still available so you can check it out. The next best paid lead generation strategy is Facebook and Instagram ads. And I put Facebook and Instagram together because they are both owned by the same company, Meta, which means when you run ads on Facebook, you can very easily run ads on Instagram at the click of a button. So very similar to generating leads on TikTok, with Facebook, you can generate leads by having an advertisement that people click on, and then they go to typically an opt-in page, which is a page where they enter their name and email in order to get access to some free information. What I use for my business and for clients is a video lead magnet or a video sales letter, which is a video that explains how you can help your potential clients. And then if people like what they hear in the video, they can then schedule a call with you to learn more about how you can help them. And all you need to do with Facebook and Instagram is drive traffic to people that would be interested in what it is that you do and what is the big problem that you solve for them. Now, in order to get good results with Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, it's very important that you have the right messaging. So you need to be able to communicate what you say in the right way to get people excited to want to work with you. And this is where most people fail when it comes to generating leads on any paid advertising platforms. I've seen people who are running ads just going straight to an appointment page, which doesn't work very well, or they're taking people to their homepage, or they're just saying, hey, this is what I do, click here to learn more, and it doesn't really help anyone. So you really need to go through and explain how you solve a problem for them and then use that in your messaging. And if you want a little bit of a deep dive of how you can do this, then check out the video that I've recorded at salesappointmentsmasterclass.com. And when you watch that video, pay attention to steps 1 and 2 in that video, because that will go through in more detail how you can do what I'm talking about right now. The only downsides to using Facebook is similar to what I mentioned with TikTok. So with TikTok, it's a little bit cheaper when you're running ads, and on Facebook, it typically costs a little bit more. That's not always the case 100% of the time, but usually 80-90% of the time, it will cost more when running ads on Facebook and on Instagram. So that's worth keeping in mind. And also, in my experience, Facebook can also be quite strict with the ads that you run. So sometimes they will restrict your ads for no reason, even if you're not breaking any rules, so you have to appeal it. And sometimes, in some cases, they've even been restricting people's accounts when they've been following all the rules. They haven't done anything wrong, and Facebook has still restricted their account. So that's also something worth keeping in mind. You could be using Facebook without any issues for years, and then suddenly they just restrict your account for no reason. Another good lead generation strategy is using Google and YouTube ads, and Google and YouTube are really effective at targeting people with search intent. So in other words, you can target people that are actually looking for your services right now. So the big pro of doing that is that you can generate leads that convert very quickly because they're in the market, they're looking for your services, or they're looking for a solution to a problem that you have right now. But the big con of running ads on Google and YouTube is that they can be quite expensive compared to Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok ads. So it is a good strategy for some industries that are not overly competitive, because if you can run profitable ads on Google and on YouTube, it can be very lucrative because of that search intent. The only downside, like I said, is that it does cost a little bit more money to do that. So in my experience when generating leads on Google and on YouTube using ads, I found that it's a lot more cost effective to use Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram. And that's why most of my budget is spent on those channels instead. And when it comes to generating leads on Google and on YouTube, instead of paying for ads, I'd rather use the free lead generation strategies that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. So on YouTube, instead of paying for YouTube ads, you can just record YouTube videos, and those YouTube videos can appear organically for free in front of your target audience. Or similarly with Google, instead of you paying for Google ads to get your website at the top of Google, you could just create really good content, and then that content can appear at the top of Google organically. So there are ways that you can generate leads for free using Google and YouTube. It does take a little bit more time and work in order to do that. However, you are building up an asset for your business, which means, like I mentioned at the start of this video, you do the work once with creating videos and creating blogs, but then those videos and those blogs can generate leads for years into the future. The next best lead generation strategy that you can use is to buy leads from other lead generation companies. Now, this is a really good strategy if you can find the right lead generation company to buy leads from. I've worked with a lot of clients that have bought leads in the past from other lead generation companies, and they've told me that only a few of them have been able to generate really good quality leads. Most of the time, the leads that they buy are not always good quality. So this is sometimes a bit of a hit or miss depending on the lead generation company that you work with. That being said, buying leads is a really good way to generate leads quickly without any effort on your end. So instead of you running ads and recording videos and setting up a sales funnel or doing any of that stuff, you can just bypass all of that work and you can just pay for leads. So you can just pay for the end result, which is what you want in your business. However, that does come with a catch, and the catch is that you are going to be spending a lot more money on leads compared to everyone else if you're buying leads. And the reason for this is that the lead generation company or the marketing company that you're using to buy leads, they are the ones that are taking all the risk, and they are the ones that have put the time and money into creating a successful sales funnel that converts. So what that means is that when they generate leads, let's just say they generate a new lead for $20, they will then resell that lead to other people such as yourself. If you're interested in buying leads, they may resell that lead for $100. And on top of that, they can sometimes also share that lead with other companies similar to you, which means that you have a less likely chance of converting that lead into a client. And that's the biggest downside with buying leads. So yes, it can work in some instances if you find a really good lead generation company, but in most cases, even if you find a good lead generation company, the leads are so expensive that it makes a lot of people think, why don't I just generate these leads myself and cut out the middle person, and that way I'll save money and I'll also be more profitable with my lead generation campaign. So you just need to weigh the pros and cons of each option and decide which is best for you and your business. Maybe, for example, if you're starting out and you don't have the time to set up sales funnels and create content and do all the stuff that you need to do to generate leads yourself, maybe you can just buy leads temporarily to get some leads flowing in, but in the background you can also be building your own lead generation system so that you are in control and so that you can get leads at cost instead of paying a markup to another company in order to generate those leads for you and your business. And the final way that you can generate leads is by using AI lead generation tools. And these AI lead generation tools are designed to replace what you would otherwise do manually yourself, but you can now use AI to do all of the hard work for you. So if you'd like to see what are the best lead generation tools, then click on the video that you see right now on your screen, and I'll go through exactly what are my top 5 lead generation tools in order to generate more leads, appointments, and clients in your business. So just click on that link and I'll see you on the other side.